morning, Fox Pack. Welcome back to the Fox Den. Welcome back to the vlog, and welcome to another acid tree. It is Friday, but it's actually my Monday, according to my work schedule. Absolutely ridiculously long day. I had enough. I'm done with the bullshit. But the daily driver is filthy. 2022 Hyundai Elantra. If you haven't seen the previous video, make sure you check it out. We are going to go ahead, give this thing a little wash, even though it's gonna rain all day tomorrow. But this thing just seems like whenever it gets rained on, it's like it rains acid. Now this is the daily driver. Who cares? Just run it through, car wash. Who cares about the swirl marks? Yada yada yada. This is a brand new car, and I'm not going to do that. Being that this is a brand new car, I can dictate how well it's going to be maintained, how the paint's going to be taken care of, and it's not going to be, oh, I bought this car off somebody else. This is how it is. That's just what I get. Got to deal with it. I can dictate how this paint's going to be, and I'm going to do that. We're going to wash this car just as we wash the G.
Made it extra foamy today.
Occasionally I get questions about how I wash the car. How can I wash my car effectively, but I don't want to buy a power washer and all that? You can absolutely use a regular hose. You can use a foam cannon that is designed for a regular hose. There's foam cannons that are designed for a regular hose. But you know me around here, you know, I used to do detailing, but it's not really just that. I just like noise and power. Now, y'all might remember, I bought an air cannon last year. Yeah, I sold that thing within like 3 weeks. No, we don't need a freaking air can. We got this thing. But is it safe? No, it's not gonna be safe. No. This is
most economical way possible to dry your car right here.
Wah! That looks better, doesn't it? Now, I think it's gonna need a touch wash because, fortunately, when you get rain on a car, most of the time you really can't get all the dirt off with the touchless wash. I mean, it did work. I mean, most of the dirt came off, probably about 95% of it, but there's still like a streak of dirt on it. Can't really feel it, but if you look very carefully, especially on the windows, at certain angles, you can see it. Now, when that happens, I will hit the car with foam and I will use a wash mitt. But I'm very, very careful with that wash mitt because even the wash mitt can put swirls in the paint. So I'm very, very gentle and really easy on the car with that thing. And if you're careful enough, it does actually work. One thing that would help is actually have a nice coat of wax in the car. Puts a lot less friction on the paint. We are going to wax this thing soon. Just waiting for better weather. So as many of you know, the Supercharger kit from Soho is ordered and it will be here within the coming weeks. G is currently Fbo E85. Pretty much every mod you can do to it except the throttle bodies. The question I always get all the time, is it worth, or rather was it worth, going E85 on this car, and do I recommend doing it? And I have some surprising thoughts because there's a lot of new breakthroughs recently with whether you stay in A or you go supercharged. Soho Motorsports just released the brand new light kit, as they call it, which is a bolt-on supercharger kit just like the normal supercharger kit, but it doesn't come with injectors and fuel pump, and it doesn't come with the Soho manifold. You're actually going to be running your stock manifold. This supercharger kit costs $6,000. That's still a lot of money. This is groundbreaking. You can now buy a supercharger kit for your VQ for $6,000. I'm going to kind of talk about that a little bit because the money, and kind of compare the money you would spend going FBO. Of course, this is dependent on what parts you get. All right, so now that I got that off my chest, let's take this beast out on the road. It's been a few weeks. See what happens, and we'll talk about my honest, completely unbiased opinion on whether or not it was worth going Fbo E85 on the car. Let's go ahead, take it out. It's nice today. Let's rip it around. This will be one of the last times it'll be ripped around before we get the supercharger on it because it is coming in soon. So let's do it.
Used to run through the money, now I'm too old. Man, I'm just playing. Shot when I land. Promoter paid for 6 flights. Got the team right. I just told Mr. Band. Came in for the bands. Beachside Villa for aesthetic. Just because and I don't even like the sand. Stan Smith sneakers on the beach. That's the water. I just came in for the tan. This was always planned. You wouldn't understand. I could turn a Chevy to a Cullinan. I could turn a Rolls to an AP. I came from Sorry Sir to come again. I came from 2 screens to HD. Tell her why you mad for. Go on, tell her why you mad for. No new friends, I couldn't catch a win until I cut off the loose ends. Used to whip the Honda in the trunk of that 210s. Just like that too. Out the speakers was max speed. Couldn't say a thing about the way if you asked me. Never caught the chain, I was always trying gang green. Riding around with my sexy love in the passenger seat. Tell her why you mad for. Go on, tell her why you mad for. Go ahead and just give me a reason not to change on you once I give me a million. I got checks in Hamburg, I might fly out this evening. I got checks in Moscow, I'll be back.
So here we are. It's finally summer. I waited an extra week because I got busy like always. It is hot today. It is about 90 degrees. It's awesome. There's a little back road here, and let me just switch maps real quick. All right, verbal map. What more can I say? I mean, it's, you guys know wind noise. I apologize if there is. I'm trying to let you guys hear the car, the exhaust. So, Fbo E85. It's a fantastic setup. Of course, if you've got the right tuner and good parts. We are running UPT 3-inch intakes, Trigger spec, upper and lower ported intake manifolds, ISR long tube headers, full motor dying, catback exhaust, and of course I added on the Flowmaster FlowFX resonators, UPT 600cc injectors, Marlboro 255 liters per hour fuel pump, and it's tuned by High Mile Racer for high mile tuning on E85. I always get asked, what is the car making? And honestly, I have no idea what it's making. I have a kind of an idea. It's probably between 350 and 370 wheel. I never got it on the dyno to find out, and I'm not going to, unfortunately, but now, like the title of this video says, is it worth going full bolt-on E85 on your VQ? Now, we're talking specifically the G37 Sedan. Now, if you're talking about a 370Z, that's a different story because that car is 1,000 pounds lighter. That car moves out a lot better than the G does with the same mods. Now, daily driving, it's totally practical. Obviously, the car is very loud, but you know, that just depends on what exhaust you choose. Drivability, great. I mean, even with the E85, the injectors, fuel pump, it's great. What more can I say? I mean, it's totally fine, the daily drive. The gas mileage, that's it's a little impractical. I'm not gonna lie. I filled this thing up to half a tank yesterday, and the reason I only filled it up to half a tank was simply because I don't know how much I'm going to drive the car before we put the Supercharger on, which will be coming in hopefully in about 3 weeks' time. No more than that. And if it is more than that, they're getting a freaking phone call. And I'm going to be running that setup on 93 because, you know, I want to keep the fuel system simple. I don't want to have to do all that other nonsense with the fuel return and the entire fuel line and all that crap. With normal driving, not even pushing the car, not doing anything crazy, normal driving, the car has a range of about 180 miles. Not very good. In stock form, the car usually has a range of about 300 miles. So with E85, that is definitely something you'd want to think about. The good news is we do have a 93 map on this, which is very helpful. I haven't had to use it because E85 is easily accessible where I'm at, so haven't had to, you know, switch to 93 since running E85. Power-wise, is it worth it? Yes, but also no. Here's the thing. Now, if you go with UPT and Trigger spec parts, their main goal is to provide high quality parts very cheap. With the intakes, they're going to run you around $600. The intake manifolds I got for about $300 with the core charge, but that was with a repaired upper manifold, which it works totally fine. It's just a repaired nipple on it. But normally they'll run you about $500 versus like $1,000, over $1,000 for the Z1s. So you had those with the injectors, which are about $300, about $80 for the fuel pump. With the headers, it's around $2,000, a little bit over $2,000. And in order to go FBO, you have to have full exhaust. I mean, you're just not going to make power if you keep the stock exhaust. That's the facts. So let's say you spend $1,500 on a catback, a good catback. You could also go with Soho single exit, which is cheaper. It's only like $1,000, and it's a single exit, so you're going to get really good power out of it. So let's say you spend $1,000 on a catback. You're looking at probably about with tuning, you're looking at probably just under $4,000. An average tune with the Ecutech kit will cost about $1,000. So around $4,000, we'll say, it would take for you to do this particular setup. Now, the power is fantastic for an NAV6 and a 4,000 pound car. It's fantastic. I never thought it would be this powerful. I don't do very much racing at all, really, if ever. So I haven't really compared it that much to other cars. This thing will definitely take care of a scat pack 100%, at least in the low end. The low end is crazy. I mean, for an NAV6 and a sedan, it's awesome. Now, that's a really fun setup, but think about it, $4 grand. Now, here's the thing, Soho just came out with a supercharger kit. It's called the Light Kit. That will run you about $6 grand, maybe around $6,500 after it's all said and done. That's with without injectors and fuel pump. So let's say you don't buy those injectors that they sell, you buy cheaper ones. Let's say you spend $500 on that, maybe $7 grand. In my honest opinion, I would save up the extra $2 grand. Now, I would only do this if you're not planning on daily driving the G. If you're going to daily drive your G, you definitely don't want to boost it, and this light is green and people are still f***ing turning. Just brings a smile to your face. But yeah, it kind of comes down to your situation, but I'll be honest, if you have another car to drive every day, I would definitely save up for that supercharger, because you spend that $6 grand, $6,500 give or take, you install it yourself like I'm gonna do, you'll make 500 wheel horsepower, just like that. Now, probably won't be as reliable as the full bolt-on E85 setup. Again, hence the whole reason you probably only want to do that if you have another car to drive. Car is very fast for what it is on Fbo E85, but I would just dish out the couple grand for the supercharger, call it a day, and that's it. Now, you don't need headers to run the supercharger. You can run stock headers. Probably want some high flow cats at the very least, but to keep it as cheap as possible, just get test pipes. Those are very cheap nowadays. So for around $7 grand, you can easily supercharge one of these. Now, it's not with tuning. So let's just say you spend $6,600 with a tune. You don't buy your own EcuTech kit. You use a shop. So you just run the shop's tune, and you don't have the OBD2 yourself, because you can do that. That saves you about $500–600 in most cases. Around $7 grand, you have a supercharged car. So those are my honest thoughts about it, to be honest. It was really fun building an Fbo E85 NA setup, and honestly, I really like the setup. It's really fun. I don't race often, but when people do try to play around, they don't expect the car to move out this quick. I tested the 0 to 60 a few months back when it was cold out, and it tested at 4.8 seconds with a frame-by-frame video editing timer that I'm Racer timed. Not bad at all for an NAV6, especially in a 4,000 pound car with very heavy wheels. I think these wheels are 26 pounds a piece without the tire. Not bad at all. Can't complain. Yeah, so to sum it up, if you're going to daily drive it, Fbo E85 is what you'll want. If you're not going to daily drive the car, I would definitely save up the extra couple grand for that supercharger. Like I said, Soho's got that new kit out, and that's actually the kit that I went with, but I paid the full price of the full kit, but I added on the tuning, the full tuning, the injectors, fuel pump, 4-bar map sensors. But I'm going to run the trigger spec corded manifolds, no Soho manifold, because I'm just going to run the 8 pounds of boost that it comes with. Man, this sucks. All these roads are closed around here, and I can't take the car anywhere for you guys. So I apologize if incredible. But yeah, that's my thoughts on going Fbo E85. It's a very fun setup, very powerful. But yeah, guys, this is the conclusion of the NA build. I appreciate each and every one of you for subscribing, sticking with me. It's been an awesome time hanging with my friends, putting the car together. There's been some ups and downs with it. The car has behaved very well, which I really appreciate. It's been pretty reliable, you know, knock on wood. I don't know if that's going to be the same case with the Supercharger, but we'll see what happens. And it's just been awesome. And you know, if you're new around here, subscribe, because like I said, in just a couple of weeks time, the Supercharger will finally be here, and we're going to be installing it, and it's going to be awesome. It's going to sound amazing. It's going to be an absolute blast. I've been having anxiety over it the last few months since I ordered it, just being so impatient with it, and I just cannot wait to install it. I've seen videos. It's going to be fast, and it's just the sound. Oh man, the sound. I can't wait to have that. Now, a little disclaimer. I think I'm going to have the flame map removed. Okay, the flames are fun and all. However, it's not really good for the engine, so we're probably gonna go ahead and do away with that. But we'll still have a burble tune if Soho will hook me up with that, which I'm sure they will. It's like half throttle, and it puts you in your seat. It's just awesome, man. Flex pipes need to be replaced. I think they're rattling pretty good. I can't even imagine why that would be. So with that, I will leave you guys to some nice, heavily modded VQ sounds. NA build is done. Hard to believe. I've had this car for 3 years this July. This car was as stock as it could get, except the tailless turn modules that came with it and the painted black grille. I'm proud of it. I mean, compared to my Acura, the Acura was the first car that I really kind of heavily modified. I appreciate all the positive feedback that I get for it. I mean, even just out in public, everybody's like, "Oh, awesome car, man. You don't see them that clean usually." My guy Alex at Auto Enhancement Pros told me that everyone who showed up to the detail shop kept asking about it. I mean, it's nothing. It's just, you know, it's a simple build, but you don't always have to go over the top to have a really awesome build. And it's just, you know, simple stuff like the OEM sport bumper. You know, it's nothing crazy. Anybody can do this. You know, if you have a G, you want to go nuts with it, do it. Look at this. It's an awesome car. And that's going to be a wrap for the NA build. Now, Supercharger, I spoke to Soho a few days ago. They're waiting on a few more remaining parts. They're expecting more parts in the coming week or so. And they said more parts, which means probably not all the parts. It's been, it'll be 8 weeks next Tuesday from when this was filmed. So I'm hoping no more than 3 more weeks and we'll have the Supercharger. And then with that, we're gonna install it and I'm gonna get it done as fast as possible. Hopefully within 3 days I could have it installed and then we can flash the base map, get it running on boost. Really excited, and I just hope it goes well. It should, but you just never know. But I'm keeping my hopes high. I have a daily driver now, so if something does go wrong, it's not catastrophic for getting to work or anything like that, but I do hope that it goes well. It should. This kit is designed for a mostly stock car, so it's only running 8 pounds of boost. Honestly, it really should be fine. I don't plan on beating on the car constantly. Just like now, I hardly ever beat on it. That's the first time I beat on the car, like wide open throttle like that in months. Honestly, just the sound alone is gonna make it a blast to drive. And you know, we'll do wide open throttle pulls only when we need to. So I really do think that it's gonna hold up just fine. We'll see, but it should. In theory, it should. The kit is designed to be very reliable. You know, we're just running 8 pounds of boost. It's nothing crazy, and we're gonna keep it at that. We're gonna run it on 93. So with that, don't forget to subscribe, join the Fox Pack today, hit the bell notification to be notified when we do something stupid. Follow our official page on Instagram at SolarFox Racing Group. You can follow me on Instagram at SolarFoxG37 so you can see all the behind the scenes of the Acid Tree. If you're new around here, make sure you subscribe because whoo, it's gonna be a crazy summer. Crazy videos coming. We'll do some races. It's gonna be awesome. Man, I am really hyped, so excited. This Soho, if you're watching this, please ship out the Supercharger kit. We need to get this done, please. I beg you. Just, oh man, ship it to me, please. Remember, life's too short to stay stuck, and it's illegal if you get caught. Stay foxy.